Hello students. So we are today we will discuss about the stereochemistry. What is that is our model 3 and lecture number is 17. Okay. So our subject name is chemistry. The subject code is CH101 or 201. The credit is 3 and contact hour is 35. These are the some of the course objectives that we have for our course. Okay. So, the concept developed in this course will aid in quantification of several concepts in chemistry that have been introduced at the 10 plus 2 levels in school. Technology is being increasingly based on the electronic, the atomic and the molecular level modification. So these are the some of the course outcomes that we have for our course. After completion of this course, you can able to you are able to describe the fundamental properties of atoms and molecules, and also you know the periodicity. Okay. So also you know the periodicity of the elements in the periodic table. You can apply the fundamental knowledge concept of thermodynamics whatever you will get in different engineering applications. You can apply the knowledge of water quality parameters, corrosion control and polymers to different industries. You are able to determine the structure of organic molecules using different spectroscopic technique, and at last you can evaluate and the practical aspects relating to the transfer of the production of chemical products at the industrial scale. So these are the some of the course outcomes that we have for our course. Yeah, so this is the lecture plan for the stereochemistry. Yeah, so these are the some of the objectives of today's class. What are the objectives? That is representing the, first of all we will see how we can represent a molecule in a three dimensional mode. Okay, three dimensional projection. So there you can know about the flying wedge projection, about the Fisher projection, about the Sohers projection, about the Newman projection, and also now we will see how we can convert in between this projection, like from flying wedge to Fisher, Fisher to flying wedge, how we can convert a molecule. Okay, these are all the just projection means how you are looking at the looking at your molecule and by which angle. So these are the just the projection of the molecules. Okay, and lastly we will discuss about the chirality, which is very important for this chapter, important concept. Okay, because next whatever topics we will discuss, you should have the, this is the basic knowledge, that is a basic concept, that is the chirality. If you don't have the concept, then you cannot understand. Okay, so based on this topic, based on the concept, you can understand the next whatever we will discuss. So in our today's class, first of all we will discuss how we can represent our molecule through a three dimensional picture, and then and how we can in a three dimensional structures there are so many projections we will see, and also we will see what are the how we can interconvert this convert one projection to another projection, and at last we will see the chirality of the molecules. Okay, so these are the today's topics. Okay, now stereochemistry. Why stereochemistry? What do you mean by stereochemistry? Chemistry? What is the so, what is this? What is the importance of this chapter? Okay, actually, stereochemistry means the stereochemistry means the spatial arrangement of the molecules. Okay, like if this is the methane molecule, right? So this black atom is your carbon, and around this you are having the hydrogen. Look here, the balls are different color, so you can assume that the different groups are there. One is hydrogen, one is methyl group, okay, one is ethyl group, one is halide group. Okay, so this is a carbon atom, and which is sp3 hybridized, sp3 hybridized. Okay, so that means the structure will be like this. Now look, if we are the stereochemistry means we will deal this hydrogen, this alkyl group, this methyl group, this ethyl group, or this halide group, how they are arranging around the surroundings the carbon. Okay, so that we will deal how they are arranging with this carbon atom, right? Okay, so one more thing, based on the configuration of the molecules, one generally stereochemistry is much have the importance in biochemical field. Okay, based on this stereochemistry, based on the configuration, if the one function will be, one structure will be biocompatible and one structure can be toxic for us. So we should know, for any drug synthesis, for any synthesis of the compound, we should know the stereochemistry well. Otherwise, while we are applying for the any type of living system, for the drug, for synthesizing the drug, that will be helpful. Okay, and we can know that what type of compounds we are synthesizing. So this is the importance of stereochemistry. Okay, like malic acid. Okay, cis butanoic malic acid, that is essential for the plants and animals, but the butanoic acid, the fumaric acid, that is toxic to tissue. This is the two different configurations we have. One configuration, the substrate with one configuration, that is helpful for us, the substrate with another configuration, that is toxic to the tissue. So if you don't know what type of what type of substrate is producing with which configuration, we cannot we cannot use that compound. Okay, yes, yeah. So now we will see the representation of three-dimensional structure. Here, this is the two-dimensional structure. Just one plane, in a x and y plane, we are having the, this is methyl group. Okay, this is the representation of the two-dimension structure. Okay, now we will see how we can represent a molecule in a three-dimension structure. Stereochemistry is the study of the relative arrangement of the atoms or groups in a molecule in three-dimensional space. Stereochemical isomers are the molecules which have the same chemical formula and bond connectivity, but the different relative arrangement in three-dimensional space. Okay. In two-dimensional representation of the molecules, all of the bonds are drawn in fully displayed formula. You can see here the solid bonds are there. Okay, whatever bonds we have drawn here, the solid bonds, right, solid lines, and in simplified displayed formula are represented by simple straight lines. one single line, that is representing the single bond. The double line, if it is double line, that is called by double bond, and if it is triple line, then it is called by the triple bond. Okay, all you know that. But in the case of 3D sketches, the organic molecules bonds represent by, some of the bonds are representing by the solid bonds, and some of the bonds are representing by dotted bond. Okay, so that we will see by the three, that is the representation of the three-dimension picture. Okay, now here you can see, look, these are here we have the two solid bonds, right? We have one dotted bond and one bond is broad. Okay, this is the wedge bond. Okay, now what is the meaning of this dotted bond, what is the meaning of this broad bond, and what is this solid bonds? Now what will happen, these bonds, generally this is the chlorofluorocarbon, right? Now this is sp3 hybridized, sp3, okay, this is sp3 hybridized. Now what will happen, the hydrogen, these two hydrogen atom, this atom and this atom is in the same plane, is in the like this, yeah. This is a paper, all of you can can see. Now what will happen, around this is a xy plane. Okay, so in this paper, plane of this paper, the two bonds, two hydrogen, sorry, yes, two hydrogen bonds are there in this plane, that is represented by the solid bond. Okay, and one whatever the wedge bond or broad bond that is projected towards its, yes, yourself, the fluorine atom is projected towards yourself in front of this board plane. Okay, and the dotted line, that is behind the plane, behind you. Okay, that is chlorine atom is behind the plane, right? So that means if the presentation, if in presentation the solid bonds represent that the in the same plane, this is xy plane but paper plane. Okay, now that is two hydrogen atoms are in this plane and one fluorine atom is towards yourself, right, towards yourself, and one fluorine atom, one chlorine atom is outside of this plane. So this is the actually this is the representation of the three dimension, and this is the main importance of the wedge bond and importance of the dotted bond. Okay. So the model is used frequently in represent the chemical formula. The wedge and dash model, this is called wedge and dash model. Okay, while we are representing the three dimensional presentation of any molecule, that time what will happen, the wedge and dash models are very common. Okay, and this model is called by the wedge or dash model. The wedge and dash model is used for the, or this is also called by the flying wedge model. Picturing the 3D molecule, it uses a wedge to show a bond coming out of the plane, which is fluorine atom, and the dash to the bond that is behind the plane, behind the paper, that is called by the, that is our chlorine atom. Okay, this model is typically used for the chiral molecules. So this is called flying wedge model or wedge and dash models. Okay, these are the some of the, again the examples, some of the examples of the representations of the wedge and dash models. You can see here, look, this carbon with this carbon, the hydrogen, this hydrogen is dotted line, right? That means the hydrogen is behind the plane. Okay, and this is the broad band, that means this bond is towards yourself, this bond is towards yourself, and this is a solid bond, that means this bond is in the plane, right? Now here also you can see the dotted bond, that means this hydrogen atom is behind the plane and this is towards yourself, this hydrogen atom is towards yourself and this CH3 is in the plane. So this methyl group, carbon group, this carbon C1, C2 if we assume, and this methyl group. So these four groups are in the plane, and what will happen, one hydrogen atom is behind the plane and one hydrogen atom is towards yourself, right. So this is the flying wedge or dash wedge conventions of any molecules. Here also you can see that if you look at the molecule, what will happen, right, this is the hydroxyl group, OH group, that is towards yourself, this is broad bond, okay, and this hydrogen is behind the plane, beside the plane, so that is away from you, right. So this is the D-glyceraldehyde. So this is the flying wedge representation of the D-glyceraldehyde. This is hydroxyacetone. So dihydroxyacetone. So here also you can see the flying wedge representation. Okay, now we will see what do you mean by Newman projection. Newman projection, generally if we have this type of atom, okay, this atom we have here with this is C1 carbon and this is C2 carbon. With the C1 carbon we have one methyl group, one chloride group and one hydrogen, and with the C2 carbon we have one hydroxyl group, one bromide and one hydrogen. Now if we see from this, you can see, okay, so this is your projection, this is your in this angle you have to see the moiety. So what will happen, what you can see, if our this is the C1 carbon, okay, look, C1, if you assume your C1 carbon is as a point, right, C1 carbon is as a point, and this is the bigger whatever bigger circle we have, that is the C2. This bigger circle is C2, okay, and the point, whatever pointed structure we have, that is the C1, right. Now with this C1, the chloride, the methyl group and hydrogen groups are attached. Now if we see in this angle, what will you will see that chloride, and here you will get the chloride, here you will get the hydrogen, and at the below side you will get the you can see the methyl group, right. If this carbon is your pointed carbon, the first one, right. So chloride will be will be at the right hand side, hydrogen will be at the the left hand side, and your CH3 will be at the downside, right. Understand? Now this C2 atom, you are seeing this C2 atom like this. This is your pointed atom, that is the C1, and behind this you have the C2 carbon, that is the big circle, right. Now if we see the C2 carbon, what you will see, the OH group will be like this, the hydrogen will be like this, and your bromine will be in this angle, okay. So thus you can represent this flying wedge representation of the molecule, you can convert it into Newman projection, okay. Understand? So the main basic fundamentals is from where the site you were looking at, so that carbon will be the pointed carbon and the next carbon will be the big circle, right. Okay, so this is the staggered configuration, and this is the eclipse configuration. Staggered configuration means whatever you have, if the groups are at the opposite side, two chlorine groups are and two bromine groups are there, okay. So all these bulkier groups are at the opposite direction. Okay, so at 180 degree you can see that they are at 100 degree centigrade. Okay, so this is called by the staggered configuration or eclipse configuration, while the bromine and bromine will be eclipsed, and chlorine while these bulkier groups are these bulkier groups are overlap with each other, what you will see, that is called by the eclipse. Generally for the eclipse configuration, the energy will be very high because the bulkier groups are staggered configuration, staggered condition, very crowded condition. So this is energetically high configuration, and while they are staggered configuration, staggered way, that means they are, the bulkier group are far away from each other, that will be the stable form, stable configuration, and thus the energy will be also very less. The Newman projections are used seeing how the bonds interact with each other. Excuse me. They are interesting because in this case we are looking straight down the bond. Okay, so straight down the bond, if you are seeing like this, straight down the bond between two carbon atoms. Therefore, the first carbon ends up completely blocking the second carbon from the view. The projection allows us to see how the different attachment on each carbon will interfere with each other. In order to draw it, we simply draw the two carbons using a circle for the back carbon and a dot from the front carbon. As I told you, the front carbon we can see as a indicating by the point carbon. Okay, that is a front carbon. We can then draw the bonds coming out from each other. Okay, so this is your Newman projection. Yeah, you can see if the one carbon atom is constant, you can see one carbon atom is constant and one carbon atom will be moving, okay, revolving, will moving. What will happen first, some time we have the staggered configuration, at some time we have the eclipse configuration, at some time we had the Gauss configuration. So these are the some of the different configurations with different energy levels that we have for the Newman projection. Okay, you can see here the first carbon will be the constant one, and second carbon will be the movement of the second carbon. You can see here also, you can see, look, this is sometimes this is staggered configuration, all the groups are in the opposite position. Now this is eclipsed, okay, the groups are eclipsed. So this type of Newman projection, but this type of projection we can if our molecule is representing by this type of presentation, that is called by the Newman projection. Okay, the Newman projection are used seeing how the bonds interact with each other. They are interesting because in this case we are looking straight down the bond between two carbon atoms, and the first end of the back in the carbon view. So this type of presentation from any type of molecule, whatever the molecules are given, if we look at this, we can make the Newman projection also. Yeah, so these are the some of the energy levels that we have for each configuration. You can see the higher configuration we have the for the higher energy we have the for the eclipse configuration, while the groups are crowded. Okay, and at the lowest point you can see every time the groups are at the opposite position. Okay, so these are the lowest energy levels. Yeah, next we have the Fisher projection. A Fisher projection or Fisher projection formula is a convention used to depict the stereo formula in two dimensions without destroying the stereochemical formation. Now look, So this is the flying wedge configuration of a molecule, where we have the carboxylic group, the hydroxyl group, the methyl group, and one hydrogen atom is there. Now what is that? Look here, this carbon, okay, so COH group, if this is COH, here we are writing the COH group and methyl group, and here OH and H group. This projection, this type of projection is called by the Fischer projection. Okay, now how we can do write down but draw a Fischer projection from this, from any type of projection, like this is the flying wedge projection, right? Now look here, for this carbon atom, the CH3 methyl group is projected towards yourself, and this is the dash bond, the dotted bond, that means that is the behind the plane, right? This OH minus is along the plane, this C1 C2 carbon is along the plane, and also Br is along the plane. Now this hydrogen is again the behind the plane, and this methyl group is towards yourself. Now rotate the, if you rotate the molecule like this, yes, we have here, okay. So this is your if you yes, if you consider ki this is your one carbon atom and this is C2, okay. Now if you rotate like this, if you rotate like this the carbon atom, okay, to put the methyl group in the back, what will happen? The methyl group or methyl groups are in the back side. So now you can see here, look here, the CH3, C1, C2 and another methyl group are in a same line. So here through a solid line we can write down CH3, C1 carbon, C2 carbon and another CH3, and OH minus is left hand side and H is your at the right hand side. So hydroxyl group is at the left hand and bromide is also left hand, and hydrogen, all hydrogen atoms are the right hand side. Again this is the second molecule. Again if we this is clockwise, if we move this, rotate this atom, rotate this molecule anti-clockwise, what will happen? Again the OH group will be at the left hand side and Br group will be the right hand side. You can see here, look. So all the CH3, C1, C2 and again the next CH3, all these are in the same plane, but here the hydroxyl group is on the left hand side and bromide group is on the right hand side. So this is the Fischer projection. Okay, so you have to, if we are having this type of projection, if we see like this, from this view, from this point, so what you will see? You will see first of all COH, one line, in one line we can see COH, C1, C2 and then methyl group. So all these carbon atoms will be in the same plane, and next what we will see, the bromide will be at the left hand side, okay, and the hydroxyl group you can see at the right hand side. So here also bromide and ethyl at the left hand side, and phenyl and hydroxyl groups are at the right hand side. So thus we can we can represent a molecule by the Fischer projection, okay. Now next we have the Shohars projection. In chemistry, resonance or mesomerism is a way of describing the delocalized electrons within certain molecule or polyatomic ions where the bonding cannot be expressed by one single Lewis structure. A molecule or ion with such delocalized electrons is represented by several contributing structures. Now this is our Shohars projection, right? So what you have to do, first of all, again the C1 carbon and C2 carbon, we have to draw it by a single solid line. Then the CH3 group, Br group, then with the C1 carbon, the methyl group, bromide group and hydrogen groups are added, and with this C2 group again the methyl, hydrogen and bromide group are there, right? And you can, if they are representing, if this molecule is representing like this way, so this is called Sohor's projection. Yeah. Now we will see how we can how we can convert from one projection to another projection, right? Fisher projection to Sohor's projection. This is we want to convert a Fisher projection molecule to the Sohor's projection. How we can do this? This is a Fisher projection molecule, right? Okay, so in a same line, COH, C2, C1 or C2 carbon or C3 carbon, and this is the C4 carbon. Okay, there are 4 carbons in a same line, right? Okay, so this is your now look, this C3 carbon is the front carbon and this C2 carbon is the rear carbon. So if this is the front carbon, this is your C3 front carbon, from here you are looking at, right? So your COH, that should be in the in the downside, and right hand side you will see the hydrogen, and at the left hand side you will have the hydroxyl group. Next, if we see this carbon, the rear carbon, okay, so what you will see, again the downside, the COH group will go downside, and here right hand side you will see the OH, and at the left hand side you can see the hydrogen. So thus we can, the Fisher projection formula we can convert into the Sohor's formula, right? Now if we rotate the rotation by 180 degree along the C2 and C3 axis, this axis, okay, if we rotate this, then the COH will go upside, right? Okay, and what will happen, the OH will come here and the hydrogen will come here, right? So these are the some of the Fisher projection to Sohor's projection we can convert. Okay, now this is the Sohor's projection to Fisher projection. This is the Sohor's to Fisher projection. You can see the methyl group C1, 4 carbon atoms are in the same plane, right? So CH3, C1, or C2, C3 and C4, these 4 carbon atoms are in a same plane. Now if we rotate by the what we have to rotate it by the 180 degree, right? What will happen if we rotate it 180 degree? So Br will come here, right, and hydrogen will come here. So that means Br will be at the left hand side and hydrogen will be at the right hand side. Here also the Br will be at the right hand side and hydrogen atom will be the left hand side, and this is your front carbon. Okay, this is the front carbon. So this is the Fisher projection, Sohor's to Fisher projection. Okay, so how if we have the Sohor's to Newman, how we can find it? Look, this is your front carbon. This should be what? This should be denoted by the point. This is your point. Okay, with this point we have, with this carbon we have phenyl group, down the phenyl group, and right side we have Br, and OH minus we have at the left hand side, right? Okay, next carbon is C2 carbon. With this carbon atom we have the methyl group. So at the upper side we have the methyl group, at the right hand side we have the NH2 group, here we have the NH2 group, and the left hand side here we have the chloride group. So thus the Sohor's to Newman projection we can convert. Okay, so this is all type of the conversion. Yeah, and this is also flying wedge. From the flying wedge you can also convert it into the Fisher projection also. Okay, now we will discuss about the chirality. Now, chirality, that means if the a molecule is non-superimposable to its mirror image, that molecule is called by the chiral molecule. Defined that refers to the molecule that cannot be superimposed on its mirror image, like our two hands. Okay, this is my hand and this is the mirror image of the hand. If we impose this, is this superimposable? No, this is not superimposable, right? So our two hands, this is the chiral, right? This molecule also, you can see this molecule, look here, if this molecule we are taking a, this is a mirror, right? Yes, this is a mirror. So this green bottle will be at the upper side, this will be this molecule, this atom will be here. Okay, red atom will be at the back side and yellow atom will be here. So this is the mirror image of this atom. Now if we want to superimpose, what will happen? Look here, if this molecule come here, then green will be here, but in this case what will happen, the yellow will be eclipsed with the yellow will be imposed with the red atom, okay, and red will be imposed with the yellow atom. So it is not at all imposable, right? So this molecule is called by the chiral molecule, which is non superimposable to its mirror image. Okay, most of the cases molecule chirality is a result of space orientation or four different substituents that are bonded to the sp3 hybridized carbon atom with IUPAC recommendation 1996. It is called as the chiral center or stereo center. Now chiral center, what do you mean by chiral center or stereo center? Chiral center means the carbon atom with the carbon atom, if four different atoms are attached, so that is called by the chiral center or stereo center. Okay. Sorry. Okay, molecular chirality for the first time has been reported in 1850 by Jean Baptiste, but discovered by the rotation of polarized line plane during the passing of polarized light through a sugar solution. Okay, a molecule can be chiral when they are not superimposed with its mirror image. Non-superimposable mirror images are the chiral molecules. It has stereo center. It has stereo center means for the chiral carbon, obviously the atoms, four atoms will be different. Okay, so that is the stereo center. It must not have any symmetric elements. Okay, so for that molecule, it doesn't have, it should not have plane of axis, center of axis, or okay, so symmetric so these are the some of the symmetric elements they should not have. That means the similarities they should not have. Okay, this is the achirality. Now look here, with the carbon atom we are having four atoms, but two atoms are same, right? The pink ball, if we have the mirror image of this, what will happen? This will be the mirror image. Now you can, if you superimpose, if you want to superimpose in this mirror image, so all the atoms will be okay, all the atoms will be at the same position. Okay, so at the eclipse position, right, eclipse configuration, that means that will be superimposable. That is why it's called achiral carbon. Okay. Okay, so this is all about the today's topic. Now I have given one question, that is define chiral carbon. For that you have 10-second time. So just memorize whatever I have taught today, and you can get the answer. You can, if you memorize the topic, then you can answer my question. Okay. Yeah, your 10-second time is over. So yeah, absolutely right. The non-superimposable mirror images are called by the chiral center. Okay, so this is the recapitulation. Whatever we have discussed today, we have discussed the representation of the three-dimensional structure. Yeah, some of the projections we have seen, that is flying wedge, Fisher, Shohus and Newman. Also interconversion of that projection also we have seen, and the chirality we have seen. Chirality, how we can define the chiral compounds, what are the examples that we have seen. Okay, yeah. So this is all check. So students, please follow the classes regularly, because stereochemistry is a chapter where you should build a concept. Otherwise, this is a very conceptual chapter. Otherwise, you cannot understand, you can and you cannot answer the questions. So please follow the classes and go through the study materials. Okay, so thank you students, and see you in the next class.